My name is Nancy Sachro. I've been doing fabric art for probably 18 or 16 years. Before that, I was doing oil painting. I took classes with John Keast, who is a mentor for me. I met Jean Burke at the same time, and I was fascinated with her fabric art. I took a class at Halliburton School of the Arts one summer and saw that I could do art with my sewing machine, and pretty well gave up oil painting right then and moved into textile art and fabric art. It's very hard to explain to people about fabric art because they say, well, what do you do? And I say, well, I make art with fabric and thread and needles and sewing and my sewing machine. And they look at me rather blank. They're not quite sure how that happens. I've enjoyed this journey into fabric art. I enjoyed my journey through oil painting also. And you probably see aspects of oil painting in this piece. The name of this piece is Superior Vista. It is one of the shoreline area views of Lake Superior, my inspiration for many of my fabric art pieces. So a piece like this starts off probably with a photograph, and I develop a pattern or use the photograph for dimensions and for perspective, but then I end up going in a different direction. With this piece, because it's a landscape, I used a lot of my oil painting practice and expertise to develop these. I start with the sky, work down, and then the sky starts light at the horizon and gets dark. I remember that from painting. And there's an edge of the horizon here that's dark, and it works towards the front. And I start building my mountain, and I tried to do the oil painting, what I learned in oil painting. Where is the sun coming from? It's coming in this direction, so I had to put light pieces of fabric on this side and darker ones on that side where it's in the shade. It was interesting and I've been getting better at doing shadows in the water and taking the same colors that are above it and putting it in the water and putting lines across it. On top of this, some of the fabrics is a fabric called tulle, and I used navy blue tulle over here. The fabrics that I used above here and below here are exactly the same fabrics, but by putting the navy blue tulle over it, it dulls the colors. It makes it look like they're below water. Up in the sky and down in the water, there are some different kinds of fabrics, some shiny fabrics, and that they glint, so they give you that idea of the sun hitting the tops of the water. As I said, down in here, there's bits of hand-dyed cheesecloth that I brought in and tried to make it look like the waves that were coming over. The very bottom, I wanted to repeat some of the colors that were from the mountain, from the rocky point down into here. So I did put in some more of the tree, some of the green down in here. I used some of the same fabrics. There's actually some rocks, real pebbles that are down here, and some real pieces of driftwood, some tiny, tiny pebbles that are sewn on in different ways across the bottom. The theme for this show was showing my love of Lake Superior is pretty obvious here. And Lake Superior, the shorelines, the rocks, I find that Lake Superior can be calming, it can be inspiring, it can be rejuvenating. If it's a calm day, just the lapping of the water on the shore is very calming. And if you go out there in the middle of a storm and the waves are crashing on the rocks, it rejuvenates you, and it makes you feel good to be out there. If you're interested in doing something like this, just start. Just get out some scraps of fabric, get out a picture, a photograph that you have seen that it's inspiring to you. Figure out a size that you don't start too big. Start a smallish size. Get the proportions that you wanted to to get to use. Just use some scraps of fabric that you have, or draw it out first. You should be able to draw it and sketch it a little bit first to get the right proportion. Once you've decided on that, then just get some scraps out, lay them out. It doesn't have to be good at first. At first, you know, you're just learning, you're just starting out.